Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about the Great Welsh Flow Trail. Today we've travelled all the way over to a small trail centre in West Wales called Bwlch Nant Yr Arian. Known for its interesting trails and features, in today's video we're here to check out what the Blue Trail is all about. And our day went a little something like this. Heading out of the car park, me and Jim are on our acoustic bikes and Lisa is on her Canyon Spectral e-bike. As with all the trails here, you head out of the car park and head up a short climb on the fire road. It's pretty easy as climbs go. We started our single track adventure heading left onto a short climb labelled as Blue Loop 2. On the map, this is the fire road that we just climbed. The Blue Trail is here, split into two short loops, 1 and 2. If you're riding this trail as a circuit, it makes sense to ride Loop 2 first, like we are today. Eventually, this joins up with Loop 1, which will take you back to the car park. So if you were to ride Loop 1 first, you would do a short 10-minute loop and find yourself back in the car park pretty quickly. You would then have to climb the fire road again to reach Loop 2. So the way we rode it today definitely makes more sense and involves much less pointless climbing. Now, the whole Blue Trail is roughly 5 kilometers long, so it only took us about 30 minutes to ride. It acts as a great warm-up for people looking to head off and ride one of the other harder trails afterwards. But this trail is also fun in its own right. The first bit of downhill is a nice introduction to the trails here. It starts off gently flowing its way down the hill before making a series of winding switchbacks. These are really good to get you moving on your bike and getting you used to the terrain, which incidentally is made of this all-weather hard-packed surface, great for all year round riding. I should say that being a Blue Trail, this one is less about technical features and more about the flow. Everything on here is rollable, so it's appealing to riders of all capabilities. As long as you have a helmet and pads on, you don't need any fancy full suspension bike to ride these. In fact, some of the sections might even be more fun on a hardtail. It's easy to see that this trail has been designed and built with fun and flow in mind. As you'll see later, there are some fast and exciting sections on here, so it's definitely a good trail to explore. When you ride a trail like this, it's all too easy to keep your head down and focus on where you're going. But to do that here would be a big mistake, because the views from some of these trails are amazing.
Wow, that's a pretty cool view. Awesome.
But we're not here to sightsee all day, we have a trail to ride. Heading down along this section, you have a bit of a drop to your left, but some more lovely flow trail ahead of you. With a few pumps and pedals, you can make your way along this section pretty easily. So despite only being 5 kilometers long, it's important to remember that this is a Welsh Blue Trail, so you're going to need a decent level of fitness. The trail naturally undulates, swapping between flowing downhill and gentle climbs, so you'll probably find that you're naturally putting in a few extra cranks here and there. But the single track uphills are usually short-lived, and you're quickly rewarded with another silky smooth descent. Although there are no real jumps on this trail, there are plenty of options to get your bike in the air. The entire trail is littered with small kickers and rollers that you can make use of if you're looking to spice up the ride a little bit. Although this trail doesn't stray too far from the trail centre, it has a real wilderness feel to it. The trail layout does well to take in some interesting sections of the hill, leading you through some forests and along the edge of a valley. It's an interesting ride and it makes really good use of the terrain it covers. It feels inviting and approachable. It provides you with a small portion of everything you'd want from a trail ride, from faster downhills, small jumps, awesome terrain and a bit of fitness. This is probably the kind of trail that hooked me into mountain biking all those years ago. As you come out into the open bit of woodland, this is the last section of Loop 2, and it's a good one. It's fast, playful and interesting. It has some fast berms, lots of rollers and the chance to get your bike in the air again. I mean, what's not to enjoy? This section feels like the little brother of sections like Dave the Fox at Landegla or the Minotaur Trail at Cody Brennan, two other well-known trail centres. They all have interesting trails that are well thought out, nicely surfaced and are not intimidating. This may be the last section of Loop 2, but there's still more awesome riding to come. Once you reach the end of this section, you have another fire road climb back to the top of the hill. This one is a fair bit longer than the first one, but the descent that follows is completely worth it. At the top of the hill, you hang a left onto Loop 1. Loop 1 is the last section before you're back at the trail centre and car park, and it's all downhill. This is the best blue section on the entire trail if you ask me. Heading right onto the blue, this is another smooth, flowing, twisty descent filled with small rollers and bumps that you can jump off or use however you wish. This section of hillside is home to two descents, this one on the blue trail and running alongside of it the last part of the red trail, which you'll see in a future video. The great thing about these two sections is they're only a short climb from the trail centre and you can literally run laps on them if you want. They're both great examples of what you would expect from a trail centre like this. Nant Yr Arian Trail Centre may be small, but the trails are amazingly well maintained. Considering that the weather's been pretty bad recently, there were no washed out sections or braking bumps, the trails were immaculate. And the parking doesn't cost you the earth either. £5 for all day is nothing for trails this well looked after. I can certainly think of a few trail centres that I've ridden recently that could really do with seeing how it should be done. This section of downhill is only around 2 to 3 minutes long, but it feels way longer than that. As you can see, there are plenty of berm corners to help you roll your way happily down the trail. As I said before, this is by far the best descent section on here, and we're only just getting towards my favourite part of it. As you get further down the hillside, the trail stops with all the switchback corners and picks up a bit more speed. Here, the lumps, bumps and rollers really become fun, and the trail almost turns into a really fast pump track. As you come around alongside the lake, this is my favourite part. There are no huge features, but the trail just feels like you're riding a roller coaster. It glides from side to side using the natural lay of the terrain to create a fast and smooth ride, complete with a few little jumps. Now, when I go to a trail centre, I usually make a beeline for the red trails in the hope that I'll find some sort of challenge there, but blue trails like this are not to be missed. You use different sorts of skills when you're riding a trail like this compared to something really technical. And as you can see, both kinds of trails are clearly a lot of fun. So, as I slowly make my way back towards the trail centre, that's the end of the blue trail here and the end of the video. We did a lot more riding whilst we were here today, so look out for the rest of the action in the next couple of weeks. But for now, thanks for watching, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.